Hello, viewers. My name is Charles Scott. The program in which you're about to listen to is called Can We Talk? Here we are again this week, and I'm here with my son,
Charles Scott Jr. How you guys doing? And like I say every week, remember, you don't have to just wait for us to come on the television. You can go online, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok. You can go in there, type in Can We Talk, Tri-State Realty. We'll come right up.
We're local realtors and brokers here in the Fairfield County area. And just to give you a little bit of background about us, we've been in business for over 38 years.
Yes.
And we do residential and commercial real estate. We also help individuals with their planning, whether it may be situational where you're looking to start up a grant, get grant money, or start up, get pre-qualified for a house. We have a lot of resources. We teach a lot of classes within the area. We teach home buying classes and educational classes.
Yes. I was going to say that. Some people come to us and they don't even buy a house. They just come to us for information, and we put them in the right direction. Maybe they already have a business. Maybe they want to find financing. We know a lot of mortgage lenders. So give us a call regarding whether matter it can be.
One of the things that we do, we're highly involved in the community that we serve. We do a lot of volunteer work. We serve on a lot of different committees, and we try to make it available, the information that we learn, to you, the public.
Yes.
With, let's say, example, housing, educational, credit repair. We also let you know about, or we give you an idea of what's happening within the economy so that you can prepare yourselves for that.
And as you can see, it's a lot of stuff, but you're not going to get all that in one episode. You're going to have to go online, go on Facebook, go on YouTube, go back in our records. We got about 50 episodes you can go by and look at them all, it's free of charge.
One of the things we wanted to, concentrate on today, or maybe give you some ideas, is like foreclosures. Now, in a sense that if you're having trouble paying a mortgage, or if there's a pending foreclosure, we're going to give you some advice. We're not lawyers, so put a disclaimer down there. It's not legal advice.
This is not financial
lawyers.
advice. This is not legal advice, but it's real world situations we've seen and we've experienced.
Yeah. We can give you from our experience some things that possibly can help you. One of the things, like I said, this is not a substitute for legal advice, but it's common. Some of it's common sense, or some of it's things that you may not even be aware of that you can do to possibly help yourself. Reason why we're doing that today is because what's happened is that with the COVID, when the COVID came, a lot of people were having trouble paying their mortgages.
Yeah, there's a bunch of moratoriums, which means the government put in place a legislation that said you cannot foreclose on someone. They could not pay their mortgage. The bank was not allowed to foreclose on them, and they were able to then save that money, hopefully, but we know what really happened.
A lot of the mortgages were put on forbearance, which meant the banks don't want to take your property. If you're in a situation where you're losing a house, you may think they want your house, but the last thing in the world the bank wants is a foreclosure to take your house back. They're not in the real estate business, they're in the interest business.
Exactly. People don't realize when you buy that house, you got the mortgage, last thing the bank wants to do is get the house back from you, because then they're going to be responsible for the taxes, responsible for insuring it, the maintenance, the pipes, the freezing, and multiple things. They want that to be your job.
They don't want to do any of those things.
No.
So that's why when the moratorium hit, and even afterwards, the banks have been working with people to stay in their homes. Now, unfortunately, it may have gotten to the point where some people, got to where they have to do some drastic means. They may not have had a job. If they may have gotten laid off, they may have had a family member pass away.
Oh, yes.
So some remedies are out there for you. In other words, what we want to let you know is, first thing, do not abandon the house.
Yeah, I was going to say that. People realize you do have a mortgage on the house, but your name is on the deed. That is your property. That is your house. For example, let's say you get a letter in the mail. My father, last episode we were talking about the guy that got the letter in the mail at 5 a.m. in the morning, left you a voicemail. At that point, remember, the bank is just giving you notice, hey, we haven't received any payments the past 2 to 3 months, and we're beginning foreclosure procedures. Doesn't mean that you have to move out that same day. It's a process.
If you get a letter in the mail, if the bank is threatening to foreclose on your home, first of all, contact the bank. Do not hide. Do not throw the letter away. Do not ignore the letter. call them. They want to talk to you.
Yes.
They want to let you know by law there are remedies that they have to give you. In other words, when you contact them, by law, they have to inform you of what your rights are. There's HUD, what they call HUD approved agencies out there
Yes.
that you can contact. You get free advice, and they can explain to you some of the things that you can do to stop the foreclosure or delay the foreclosure.
Yes, because people don't realize there's a lot of programs out there that can help you get somewhat like a second mortgage, where they help you restructure a modification, maybe catch you up on your payments. And the way it works is they get paid back when you sell the house because, hey, they helped you out during that time of need.
Some of the remedies are, let's say you owe the bank, say $5,000 in back payments. Well, the bank, in some cases, what I have seen that they do is they'll take that $5,000 and they'll put it at the back of the mortgage.
Yes.
And you don't even make any payments towards that $5,000. It's all the way at the end. So if you're supposed to pay for your mortgage in 30 years, well, at the end of the 30 years, you still owe them $5,000 that you can pay for at that particular time.
Exactly.
In some cases, they'll take the $5,000 and they'll spread it over the next 2 or 3 years.
Maybe about a 35-year mortgage or something like that.
And they'll put it into your mortgage payment, so your mortgage payment will increase, but you do not lose the house. So there's many things that they can do to keep you in that particular house. And one of the best ways, like I said, they can put it towards the end of the mortgage. So now, technically, you start fresh, but they're not charging you any payments currently for that $5,000.
Exactly.
Your payments remain the same. They even have some programs, some banks have, whereas if you can show them a hardship, they will actually reduce your mortgage payment.
Yes.
So that's another thing that you may look at. Now, the other thing is if you have a mortgage and you've been paying on it for many, many years, say it's a 30-year mortgage and you've got a lot of the mortgage paid off, they may allow you to even refinance it,
Very true.
extend the mortgage, lower your payments, so you still get to keep your house.
And pull some of the equity out.
So mainly what we're saying is that if you get a letter in the mail, first thing you do, call the bank up.
And I want to mention to people out there, because we get a lot of listeners or a lot of viewers who are watching this and get a letter from Mr. Cooper and say, well, I got my mortgage with M&T, I got my mortgage with this bank or that bank. Remember, Mr. Cooper might be a balloon mortgage on your mortgage built into the contract that you didn't realize that may be coming due soon. So if that's the case, I would say give us a call if you have experience with that particular situation.
Exactly. Now, let's say you got the letters already and you ignored all the letters.
Oh, yes.
Now you're in the court. They do what they call a summary process. The sheriff serves the papers with you stating that you have to appear in court. One of the things you want to do is make sure you go to the city hall, file an appearance. What's an appearance? Well, it's just letting them know that you're alive and that you're still around. You didn't abandon the house. You didn't join the army. You're still alive. It gives notice that I'm still here.
That's a good clue. People don't know. I believe if you're in the service, you're deployed, you can't be foreclosed on. Is that true?
Well, they've got to notify you. They got to get a hold of you. But what that does is that will stop many of the foreclosures. They got to certify that you're not in the service because they can't go and take a person's house that's deployed.
Very true.
There's many things that are out there that can protect you that you may not be aware of.
But the worst thing you can do is not show up to court, because at that point it's like if it was a criminal case, you're admitting guilt. It's like by default they can tell the judge, well, we have to foreclose. The person's not even showing up to their court case.
And you also have to make sure that the bank is aware that you're still in the house. If you're not in the house, the bank has permission, because in the mortgage it says that they can secure the property. They may even go out there, find out you've abandoned the property, change the locks even, board the house up.
Winterize it.
Winterize
Put
it.
their own insurance on it just in case.
Because now you've left, you're endangering the equity, or you're endangering what you put up for security for that house, and they have a right to protect their investment. So you don't want to do that. And remember, the house is not foreclosed on until the judge and the courts say that it's foreclosed on. You still
Yes.
own the house. Even though you've been served, it's still your house.
Yeah, people don't realize that. They get the letter, and then they say, I got to move with my uncle. I got to move with this aunt, because they think that they're not allowed to stay in the house. No, you're going to be living in this house while this is going on, while this procedure is going on, while you're going through these court cases. And technically, I mean, most cases, you should be saving money in order to make the next move, I would say.
In most cases, it can take up to 2 years or more for a bank to foreclose on a property.
Yes.
Now, the other side of all of this is, like I said, you still own the property until it's foreclosed on. Suppose you have a lot of equity in that property. Now, if you have a lot of equity in that property, you still have a right to sell the property.
Yes.
You own it, so let's say the property is worth $400,000 and you only owe $200,000 on it, and you're being foreclosed on. Well, the foreclosure takes quite a while. You have a right to put the property on the market, put it up for sale.
Yes.
You can list it with the realtor. We can list the property. We've done this many times.
Many times. People don't realize they're sitting, like, what's that commercial? Sitting on a gold mine. You don't realize this time is different versus people think about 2008, 2009. That's when the economy, I'll say these houses were upside down, where a lot of people owed more money than what the house is worth. We're in a different situation now where a lot of houses are worth a lot more than the loans that are on them.
You just hit on something I want to sort of elaborate on a little. A lot of people think that their house may not be worth that much because going back about 2-3 years ago, when they started missing payments, let's say it was only worth $250,000, and let's say you owed $250,000. So you're saying, well, you know, I'll never be able to pay this house off because what I owe on it is what, you know, basically what it's worth. So there's no sense in even thinking about selling it. But in the last couple of years, the value has skyrocketed.
Yes.
So now let's say it's worth $400,000 and you don't even know that. And so you could.
How could they know that? I mean, they haven't called us to get a free CMA. Remember,
There you go.
A couple episodes ago, we've been mentioning this. You know, get a cost comparative analysis. You call us up, and we'll go to your house. We'll see what you have. Because remember, when it comes to Redfin and Zillow, they're looking at the outside of the house. They're doing these algorithms. What if you have a new bathroom? What if you have a new kitchen, remodel? That's when you call us, the experts. We come over and we say, wow, okay, this is what your house could be worth on the market.
And once you find that out, then it's a matter of selling the house because if you owe $250,000 and you sell it for $400,000, look at you have over $100-some thousand that you can put into your pocket. You can walk away with. And now, if your credit may have problems, hey, you got enough money there that you can build up your credit. You got enough money there where you can rent for a while until you build your credit back up, and then you can come back actually, and maybe now you've got the job and buy another house.
Tell them this, they can come back as a first-time home buyer. Come in and take advantage of these FHA programs and other things like that.
Right. You can come right back in after a couple of years and you've not had ownership of a property. You can come right back in and start all over again. So you get a second chance. You get
Some people get third chances, fourth chances I've seen out here.
But you get nothing if you just sit there and let the bank take the property.
Yes, very true.
So we're just saying that there's opportunities out there for you to be able to navigate the troubled waters and get into another house and be able to start all over again. But the last thing you want to do is not do anything because now you're going to have problems.
Exactly. Now, there's some people maybe watching our show who understand how it works, and they may say, well, I've refinanced everything out this house. I'm actually underwater. Well, there's still a way to, I'll say save yourself from being owed that mortgages, what we call a short sale, which we are experts at
that's
too.
True too.
Yeah, let's say you do owe a lot more than what the house is worth. That's when you call someone like us, some professionals, and we get the banks to sit down and negotiate what would they accept for this house. Let's put it on the market, and let's see if we can let you walk away from this mortgage without owing anything.
Right. In other words, the bank wants you to take care of the property.
Yes.
There's no sense in you walking away from the property and then abandoning the property. So let's say, for example, you owe $350,000 on the house and it's only worth $200,000. And you're saying, well, I can't sell the property because I owe a whole lot more than the property is worth. One of the things that you can do is what they call, my son just said, which is a short sale.
Short sale. I like to define that, 'cause people see short sale, they think, oh, it must be a sale that's short and fast and easy. No, a short sale is what we're saying is we're shorting the bank where they're going to get back some of the money that they loaned out to you, but not all of it. So that's why the word short is implied.
And here's the best part. If the bank agrees to do a short sale with you, they agree not to pursue any other monies to make up the
Yes.
difference. So if they sell it for $250 and you owe $400,000, they don't come after you for the other $150,000. Not only that, it gets better. If you're living in the house, they may even give
how
you
about that? I know you're
cash
going-
for keys.
Cash for keys.
They'll pay you to relocate.
This is real. People might think, what do you mean the bank? They think the bank is like a human being and has emotions where they're mad at me. I owe money. Then why would they pay me to leave the house? They don't realize this is business. They want you out the house so they can put it back on the market or sell it themselves. So they will give you cash for keys. I've seen it happen before.
Oh yeah, and they give you quite a bit of money
Yes,
to
quite a bit.
relocate, move out of the house. They are motivated because they want you to keep the house in good shape.
Yes.
So they reward you, even though you owe them and you may not have paid them for a year or more, they will still reward you by giving you money to leave the house in good shape.
Yep.
And here's the best part about that. You move out of the house, they agree not to come after you for any money. Now, the scenario is you rent for a while, you got a little money, you
Yep.
build up your credit, and later on, you could buy another house. In some cases, some banks have rules where you have to wait at least 2 to 3 years
Yes.
before, after a bankruptcy or a foreclosure, before you can buy another house. But it's not the end of the world. Just
That's the good
because
thing
that
about it.
happened to you doesn't mean you will never ever be able to come back and buy another house.
People think it's one and done. You get one chance to buy a house and make a mistake, get foreclosed on. No, there's second chances, third chances, and there's fourth chances in this market.
It's in the benefit of the country, it's in the benefit of the bank that you become productive. How many times do you see, for example, corporations, they go bankrupt?
Oh,
You know,
yeah.
all the major ones you've seen a lot of times when they file for bankruptcy, and then you notice all of a sudden they come back into existence.
Yeah, how
You
about that?
Good example, what is it, Bed Bath & Beyond, right?
Oh, yeah.
They went bankrupt, right? They went out of business, supposedly. Now somebody bought them, now they're back in business.
Oh, yeah.
And they retained the name. You know, you got other ones out there that have filed for bankruptcy. But the suppliers or the people that give them the goods to sell, they will even give them more money to stay in business because they figure, hey, if you get back on your feet, then you'll make money and you'll pay us back.
Exactly.
That's how the banks look at it when you own a house. They want you to be successful. But end result, if all else fails, then, you know, we can come out and we can give you an idea
Yes.
of what your house is worth, because you're probably out there dealing with false idea of what it's worth, false impression of what you were told a year ago, 2 years ago, what your friends might have told you. But we can come out, doesn't cost you a single penny, sit down with you, give you an idea of how much that house is worth in today's market.
And don't be afraid if you've already, some people may have already missed 2 or 3 court dates. Remember, give us a call, because remember, we can look online, look on the judicial website, and we'll see what step are you in the foreclosure, because there is steps. It's the same every time. I mean, at the end, what is it? It's the strict foreclosure. That's what we're looking that to happen. That's the final step.
And even if you have a strict foreclosure, what they do is they put what they call a law date.
Yes.
The law date, that's the date that, as of that date, if you do not come up with the money, they have a sale or whatever it may be, and then the property goes to the bank. But a lawyer can go to court, even you can go to court, and you can ask the judge to extend the law date, it's called.
Yes.
In other words, you may have put the house on the market and you're selling it, and the date to take the house comes before the date that you sell it.
Yes.
So you go to the judge and you say, Your Honor, I'm selling the house, or this has happened, and I know I'm losing the house on, let's say, March 1st. However, if you give me until May, I will take care of the property,
Yes.
I will pay the bank off, and give me a chance to get it together. So the lawyer will say, or the judge will say, okay, we're going to give you another 3 to 4 months, and make the law date another 3 or 4 months down the road to give you an opportunity to do what you have to do. But if you don't show up, guess what? You've automatically lost because they're not going to extend the date, because the bank's lawyer is going to be there saying, Your Honor, they didn't even show up at court. They don't care. The longer you leave the house vacant or the longer you take to take the house back, we're losing money. And the people don't even care enough to show up. So the judge has no recourse but to go along with the bank.
Exactly. And also I was going to mention, remember, people that have co-signed with other people to buy houses, you may not be getting the mail all the time. What if you co-sign with somebody and they haven't been paying the mortgage? Make sure you're checking the judicial website. Type in your name. Make sure you're not going through a foreclosure procedure and don't even know it. You might be a co-signer on a property or two.
So, in conclusion of that, we're just saying, number one, if you're looking at a foreclosure, if you're having trouble making your mortgage payments, there is help that's out there. Don't just feel bad and depressed and walk away. There's a lot of things that you can do to salvage that property. Now, on the other hand, if you're just starting out and you're looking to buy a house, lately every week we've been talking about a program called Time to Own.
Yes, Time to Own.
That's a program for first-time home buyers where you can get free money to help you buy the house. $25,000 up to $50,000, depending upon the need and whether or not you qualify.
And remember, it's for Connecticut residents who've lived here for 3 years, and it helps you with your down payment, your closing costs, and there's certain areas on the map that, like my father said, goes up to $50,000. And we've seen this. This is real money. It's forgiven after you've been in the house for 10 years, and it's it's like a forgivable grant.
Today, when we were on the way to the studio, we actually looked at it about a half hour ago, and how much was in there?
It was about $32 million.
$32 million left. And the money dwindles down. It's first come, first serve for whoever qualifies, so it's not an endless amount of
I was
time.
gonna say, when I say $32 million, I want you to think $32 because it will go. This money will dwindle down probably by April, maybe May. So don't wait until then to start getting ready. Start today. Give us a call. Even if your credit isn't ready, give us a call. We can point you in the right direction of some credit counselors. So by the time, let's say, April comes, you can jump in the market, give us a call, and we can start looking at different properties.
Yeah, what the bank does is if you've been pre-qualified for a mortgage, and if you're looking to buy a house, and let's say you need $25,000, and you've got an offer or a contract, the bank will notify the state, hey, I got this client here that needs $25,000. And what they will do is they'll put in a reservation. Like you're not going to get the money up front. You can't go do anything with it. But they're going to put aside and put your name in there saying, my client needs, of that $32 million, my client needs $25,000. So now you're all set and you have a reservation there for that money. Now, as long as you finish and you come up to the closing and your lawyer and your mortgage is approved, that $25,000 leaves the state and comes to your attorney for you to use.
Now, some people may say, I've heard you guys talk about this program, but when I go to my bank, they don't mention it or this. Remember, only certain lenders and certain banks are approved to use Time to Own. Give us a call. We'll point you in the right direction of who we use, or go on the website. There's a bunch of different banks, but remember, your bank may not be one of them.
Right. There's a certain amount of banks that are actually putting the money out there. You come to us, we'll give you the list, and that's the other thing you just said. So your bank may not be on the list. A lot of people have the misconception that they have to get a mortgage from the bank that they do business with.
Yes.
Banks don't care if you got 10 cents in their bank and they'll still give you a mortgage. The amount of money you have in a bank has no bearing on whether or not you get approved for a mortgage.
It's like, hey, I got $100 in this bank. They owe me a little favor. They'll give me a lower rate on the mortgage. No, that's not how it works.
No, it's not how it works.
Nope.
You could have $100,000 in the bank, and you still may not get any money from that bank. They don't look at how much money they look at. If you have money in the bank, the only thing they look at as far as that is maybe you have money to put down. Yes. But every bank will look at the same thing. If you're at this bank over here and you go across the street to their competition, well, their competition will check the bank statement and see that you have money over in the other bank that you can put down. But that's not, no matter how much money you have in all the different banks, it's not going to help you get a mortgage because you have the money in those banks with favoritism. It'll help you as far as the down payment, but in other words, either you qualify or you don't qualify. Simple as that.
I was going to say there's no favoritism, which is good because, it's a fair market. All these banks are selling the same green money. They all go by the same federal interest rate than what they can charge for this money. So it's good to shop around for your mortgage. More people, I always say this every couple episodes, people shop around for their vacation, furniture, and cars more than their mortgage. They just go to the bank they've been doing business with for so many years. Why not shop around and see where you get the best program, the best rate?
Right. So just remember that. That's very important. It doesn't make a difference if you have a bank account at this particular bank. You can go to a complete, look at it this way too. A bank that does not have your business will probably do more for you than the bank that has your business.
So, right?
Because if they don't have your business, they're begging for your business.
Yes.
You may not have a penny in that bank, and that bank is saying, please, please, come and do business with us. Remember the old days? Or you probably remember, you're younger than I remember the old days when you could open up a bank account. They give you a toaster, they give you a blender, they give you gifts. Every time you go to the bank, they had all these, just to open up a checking account. You'll open a checking account, open a savings account. They give you all kinds, and you refer a friend. They give you appliances, everything, just so you'd come in and open up a new account. Now, the bank that you're at, if you go to your bank and say, hey, give me a toaster, they're going to look at you like you're crazy. We're not giving you no toaster.
Toaster.
But the other bank that you never even, they don't even know you, they give you all kinds of things. So just remember, you don't have to belong to the bank to get the favors of the bank.
Exactly. Very true.
So one of the things we want to close with today is remember, if you're having trouble with a mortgage, give us a call.
Give us a call.
We can give you some good advice. Number two, if you're looking to purchase a home, there's some free money, there's grant money out there, there's time to own, and we can also steer you in the right direction and help you get that money and also find a property for you.
Yes, I was going to say, give us a call, brother, no matter what your situation, we're here to help.
And until next week, God bless.
Amen.